In 2016, millions of players stepped into a universe that didn't exist, or at least not the universe they thought they were promised. They booted up a game expecting infinite life, infinite discovery, and infinite possibility. Instead, they found something else, a quiet, lonely expanse of empty planets, broken systems, and a dream that didn't survive contact with reality. But the strange part is, the lie wasn't malicious. The deception wasn't criminal. It was something far more human. It was ambition that went unrestrained. It was optimism that went unchecked. It was a small team dreaming louder than their resources could allow. And when that dream collapsed, the world pointed fingers. At the trailers, at the interviews, and at the man that sat on the talk show couch promising galaxies. Yet the true story of No Man's Sky isn't the collapse, it's what happened after. A universe built once out of hype, and built again out of sheer determination to do the right thing. This is the story of No Man's Sky. Before procedural galaxies and infinite exploration, Hello Games was a four-person team known for simply one thing: Joe Danger, a colorful cartoon motorcycle stunt game released in 2010. It was charming, polished, and wildly successful for such a tiny studio. The success put Hello Games on the map, but the team didn't want to be known forever for a cute stuntman. Inside the studio, a different idea had been growing. Something enormous, absurd, and almost arrogant in its ambition. The idea began with mathematical curiosity. Sean Murray, programmer and co-founder of Hello Games, was obsessed with procedural generation. He loved the idea that math could build worlds endlessly. What if a small team could use those systems to create something far larger than any usual AAA machine? Not a game with levels, but a galaxy. Planets generated by formula, creatures shaped by algorithms, an entire cosmic ecosystem emerging from pure math. What if a handful of people could build something that rivaled the largest open worlds? It sounded insane. But inside Hello Games, it became the mission. In secret, they started building prototypes of tiny planets, atmospheres, and creatures. They weren't just going to build a game, they were going to build a dream. On December 7th of 2013, a trailer appeared at the VGX Awards. It showed a lone explorer swimming through alien seas, stepping onto vibrant grass, and lifting off into space, seamlessly rising from the surface of a planet into the vastness above. No loading screens, no cutscenes, just pure wonder. The industry had erupted overnight. Who were these people at Hello Games? How did this indie team of under 10 people announce something that made AAA publishers look small? Gamers wanted to believe this was real. It felt like a return to childhood wonder, to Star Wars or Star Trek, pulp sci-fi, and the dream of uncharted frontiers. No Man's Sky was the most anticipated game of all time. But anticipation is an unbelievably dangerous thing. The more people wondered, the more Sean Murray explained. And with every interview, every magazine article, and every late-night talk show appearance, the myth of No Man's Sky only grew larger. Some of the biggest promises from Hello Games included planet-sized worlds, diverse biomes, large animals and predators, rivers flowing water and sandworms, large-scale space battles, meaningful factions and reputation systems, complex trading economy, freely destructible terrain and structures, landing anywhere, ship classes, freighters you could own, NPC interactions with personality and intent, dynamic galaxies shaped by simulation, a true multiplayer universe, and truly a lot more that I just am not going to read off. Some promises were said openly, some were misunderstood, some were misquoted, some were simply hopeful dreams that the community accepted as confirmed fact. But regardless of intent, the industry treated No Man's Sky as a revolution, a new era. Sean Murray became the face of that dream. He was quiet, nervous, and gentle, but when talking about galaxies, he talked like he had built them with his own bare hands. The hype was truly uncontrollable, and with the hype continuing to grow, they found themselves a reliable publisher. Sony Entertainment had stepped in to publish the game. With their backing, No Man's Sky was no longer a niche indie curiosity. It was now a PlayStation game. Although finding a publisher does have its setbacks, like you are now locked into a release date and you can't delay the game whenever you want, but it does come with some nice benefits like publishing and exposure. E3 trailers showed massive beats, towering sentinels, vibrant wildlife, giant crashing freighters, and space battles, all reinforcing the idea that this universe wasn't just big, it was alive. Behind closed doors, however, Hello Games was struggling. The team was still tiny, deadlines were looming, and content had to be cut. The procedural generation systems in particular weren't behaving the way they had intended. Some features existed in prototypes, but they just simply couldn't be scaled up to billions and billions of planets. Multiplayer wasn't working reliably, and the game just wasn't matching the vision that they had sold the audience. And despite this, the marketing machine kept rolling. Expectations only kept rising, and that release date was not getting any further away. On August 9th of 2016, No Man's Sky was officially set to launch. Millions of players rushed into the universe, millions of explorers ready to experience the impossible, and almost immediately, the illusion was broken. No multiplayer encounters were in the game. There were no large animals. The desert world's lush forests and varied biomes are gone. No dense cities or complex structures. No dynamic factions, bare-bones trading, minimal ship diversity, repetitive planets, space battles were shallow, small, and basic, no large freighter interactions, no real consequences or depth, and most importantly, frequent crashes, bugs, and severe performance issues plagued the game. Players shared screenshots comparing early trailers and launch gameplay, and the differences, to be quite frank, are night and day. The backlash was immediate and it was furious. Reddit exploded. Steam reviews had plummeted to overwhelmingly negative. Major outlets accused the game of false advertising. Sony distanced themselves almost immediately, and Hello Games went completely silent. The universe that had once inspired wonder now was symbolizing disappointment. But it wasn't the end. Most studios in their position would issue apologies, press tours, or damage control. Hello Games did absolutely none of that. The studio had completely just vanished. No tweets, no dev updates, no press appearances, just silence. People assumed the team was gone, crushed, or scattered. But inside that small office in England, the developers weren't dead. They were just rebuilding. And in November of 2016, 3 months after launch, Hello Games had issued their first statement. We're still here. Then came the updates. Foundation update of 2016. It brought base building, freighters, survival mode, and a creative mode. Pathfinder update in 2017 brought vehicles, visual overhauls, and base sharing. Then also in 2017, the Atlas Rises update launched, with improved story, new biomes, portals, the first step toward multiplayer. For many players, this was the moment the game began to match its early ambitions, but it was far from finished, and Hello Games knew that. Heading into July 2018, Hello Games released the Next update. This was the transformation. Next introduced true multiplayer, third-person perspective, a massive visual overhaul. Base building was expanded dramatically, ringed planets were added, more varied biomes were put into the game, new structures, new missions, improvements to exploration, combat, crafting, and trading. For the first time, the game felt like the universe players imagined back in 2014. Reviews improved, players were returning, and the media kind of started to reframe their narrative. The redemption arc had begun. But it was far from finished, and Hello Games absolutely knew that. Because Hello Games didn't stop at redemption, they kept going relentlessly. More major updates flooded from 2019 to 2022. Beyond, which added VR support, expanded multiplayer and a Nexus hub. The Origins update added a massive biome overhaul. The Prisms update added a graphics upgrade. Frontiers update added settlements and city building. The Outlaws was a pirate smuggling and improved space combat update, and a ton more that I'm just not gonna name. Each update layered new depth onto the game. Each one rewrote another chapter of the redemption story. By 2022, No Man's Sky was not only fixed, it had become one of the most content-rich games ever made, and it never charged for DLC. Everything was free. Today, No Man's Sky is held up as one of the ultimate comeback stories in gaming, a symbol of perseverance, a reminder that failure doesn't have to be the finale. Hello Games went from the most hated studio in gaming to one of the most respected overnight. Not through marketing and not through apologies, but through years of hard work in the quiet, with constant and humble work being done. They built a universe twice, first in hype, then in reality. No Man's Sky never delivered the game promised at launch, and that will always be a shame. But it delivered something else. Something stranger, something more resilient, and something even more honest. A universe shaped not by trailers or expectations, but by time, effort, and the stubborn refusal to give up. Hello Games didn't just fix a game, they earned respect, they earned forgiveness, and they earned a legacy. And in the vast, infinite universe of No Man's Sky, the most impressive creation is the story behind it. Thank you all for watching. I know this video was a bit short compared to my Cyberpunk video, and I get that, but I think it's still a good video and I hope you enjoy it. In the end, this video took me a little less time than the Cyberpunk video, but I still think it's just as good. To vote on my next video, you can find my Patreon in the link in the description below, and if you don't want to subscribe to that, there is absolutely no biggie. You can just go to my YouTube posts and it'll be there as well. So, thank you all for watching. Have a good one.